Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Rashida and joined by me today is the amazing people Alero,
Tunde.
So today we're going to be talking about reality versus the expectation of life in the abroad. What people think, what really is the struggles people down here face. We're just going to be talking about the ups and downs, the misconceptions, the expectations. So basically like the reality versus the expectations. Do I feel like we're well informed, that people are well informed about life in the abroad? Because I think there's this mass generalization that everything is just perfect, everything, the way we have it all planned out, that once I'm in there, once you get there, the thing back home is like once you get there, you're getting a job instantly. The money you start making, it's just like you're going to be a billionaire in about a year time, like in a year, like you're just going to be a billionaire, rather, sorry. And I also feel like maybe now we have enough resources to get information, because the YouTube is there, the Google is there. You can always search for things, and YouTube, you get people sharing their experience just the way we have now. So, but I feel like back then, you just see people come home and they tell you that, don't worry, once you just let me know when you're coming, that once you get there, you get a job, you start working, and I just feel like people are not being honest. They're not truthful about what it really means living in the abroad. Like everything you have to face, the challenges you have to face, the day-to-day struggles, settling in. Like I think some people even spend years before they settle in.
That's very true.
Before they get there,
right.
They're just there.
I think sometimes because people have been sold this perception about what it is meant to be, when the other people come in, they see it and they're like, this is not what I've been told. But instead of them to pass on the information, the right information, they it's almost as though you're faking it. Yeah, that's it. They fake it. I don't know whether to make it. Because some of them ain't making nothing. Yeah. But do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
All of them, they kind of fake it, and then they showcase the same information. They just continue with the lies and whatnot, and then it carries on. Literally, I think that's the best way to describe it.
You keep following the chain, the lifestyle. You see them, like what people don't know, that okay, most of these people, their lives are on credit. Even down to the clothes they wear, the phones. You know, when you go home, when you come down with your Gucci, the big brand designers and all that, people are looking at you like, oh well, this person is really this and that. And there's this thing that people are always stopping for money. That the Africans want money. Once they call you, they want money, and you're not telling them the truth. So they really think that you're fine. For you to be able to afford this, you should be able to give this money, because you should be able to give me. Yes, if I ask you for 20,000 naira, you should be able to give it to me, because what you're wearing is more than that. Yeah. Do you get it? So I just feel like we ourselves, we are not being honest to people. We don't say it as it is.
You know what? To be honest, what I would say is that there are some people, like I've had experiences recently, that when you're saying the truth and you're explaining to people how things really are, they don't believe you. Like they genuinely do not believe you. Like they're just like, oh, you know what? This person has come again. They don't want to give. That's why they're lamenting and talking about. They're saying that this is that. People don't believe you, and the reason why people don't believe you is because they see a lot of these people that are faking it. And then
the reality about life in the abroad, what you felt like when you got here.
One of the very first thing I thought was I remember getting I think for me. There were a lot of different things, like going to school, because obviously I had to go to secondary school when I came here and all that stuff. So the teaching and the way that students were, those were like kind of like one defining factors. But I also feel like when I came here, everything, like I couldn't spend money, because every time I had some money that they've been giving, like pocket money and stuff like that, I literally would do conversion for the longest time. Like literally, I would be converting everything. I'd be like, oh my god, how can you buy a biscuit for £1? Like that's
back in
like this. I'm just thinking, how did I spend £250? 250 naira on just one biscuit and stuff like that. Like, that's ridiculous. And also just like seeing how people actually live, because one of the biggest thing for me anyways is the when I don't know, because even though I don't expect, like I know my parents always say, it's not like they're plucking money off the tree or something like that. Even though I don't expect that, I just thought everything would just kind of fall into place like that. Like for some reason I'm here, I start to have loads of money and I'll be able to buy anything I want, and maybe it got like fantasy coming through. So yeah, it was good because it was also good because I had my sisters and brothers. We all came around the same time. So it was very funny because we used to take the piss and joke about people. You know, when you meet a lot of the people here, I didn't have that many people I knew from Nigeria that were abroad normally because I mean most of my family, my sisters and stuff, my older sisters were here. So, but then it was just the misconception of a lot of things, like, you know, I don't know, maybe everyone will be wearing designer clothes, for example, or even, you know, so that was kind of it. There are a few things, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But yeah, I'll pass it on.
Yeah, and we'll move to Tunde. So, what were your struggles when you came to the UK? How was it? Was it what you thought it was gonna be? What you've been fantasizing about?
To be honest, if I can remember what really happened, what really made me to decide that, man, I need to leave Lagos as soon as, like, because when I went for my service, and I did my service in the north.
Your NYC?
Yeah, my NYC in the north. For those who don't know, NYC is National Youth Service Corps, and it's basically for fresh graduates in Nigeria. Because I used to have this mindset like, if I finish my uni, there is a job waiting for me. There will always be someone that is willing to help me. Someone is going to help me. But when I went for my 1 year service, then I see the reality, like, wow,
this is it.
This is it. This is it. This is the real world. Nobody is not happening the way I expected, but I started making some life decision, trying to make decision on my own, things that I want to do. But and again, like what Alero said, like I remember when I moved here, I first stayed in London, and living in London, what I saw back then, see a lot of people rushing, jumping on the bus. Everybody's living that fast lane life. Like you have to, everything is on time. You have to like catch the bus on time. So
because back in Lagos, you have like the bike.
It's not about back in Lagos, right? It's just like what your mind projected that you're going to see, and you face the opposite side.
Yeah, like it's an entirely different thing.
Entirely different in terms of getting job. You think that, oh yeah, I want to work in the office, and it's not done that way. Like you coming with your Nigerian certificate and thinking, oh yes, my certificate can open doors, and you realize that you don't even know what your certificate's all about. That one alone is just an heartbreaker. Like you just like, whoa, wow. You just have to like thinking of what's the next step. Then you have to do what everybody are doing just to make a living, to survive, to be able to like sort your bills out, and to be able to like send money home and look at touching story.
I was gonna say something else as well. Again, I was just gonna add a little bit to what Tunde said about university. Whilst Tunde obviously got his certificate in Nigeria, I did get mine in the UK, and it's the same thing. I think one of the misconceptions is that you get a job straight away. Now, Tunde's certificate might have been Nigerian certificate. I graduated, and it took me about over a year for me to actually get my first job. So it did take that long for me to get my first job. So the whole thing of whether you finish uni, because once you finish uni, everyone talks about experience and stuff like that, and obviously one way to get experience is to
there is another thing is going to uni here. You people tends to have working experience right from your college days, compared to me with no working experience, no job experience, and
I suppose obviously here when you're about 16 years old, you can work, technically speaking, so you can get part-time job, but that's still incorrect. Why I say that's incorrect is because, first of all, I went to sixth form, I did my A-levels, everything like that, and when I finished uni, it took me about a year to actually get something. And also, one of the key things that people were saying when I went for interview is experience. Now, I had experience of working in various different jobs, like all through uni, from 16. Even when I was at uni, I had a job at different point in time. But those job experience were not actually considered job experience. They were looking for something in relation to my field. And that's why I would technically advise any young person really to make sure that, you know, when they're doing their school work experience, they should definitely do 2 weeks one that you normally do at school as well. You should definitely pick a field that it's important, not the restaurant or the retail industry, definitely. And also you can probably take a year out, because there's some people that take a year out before uni, rather than going straight out to uni. They take a year out and work, or they take a year and travel abroad, because that is kind of seen as a good thing. Or, you know, some people at my uni did take a year out after second year. So after second year, they took a year
for the apprenticeship,
like an internship, basically,
like an internship. Yeah.
So they took a year out in their chosen field, worked, and then came back for the final year. So they had that 1 year experience. So that also makes you a bit more different, exposed and different. Yeah. And imagine you're interviewing with a lot of different people. Yeah. Of course, you're going to talk about your experiences, that I took a year out, I've got a year experience. So that really does help. I don't think that if you went to school, didn't do anything, then that wouldn't. It's all about differentiating yourself. Remember, there are a lot of people with similar grade, probably went to the most similar universities as well in terms of, you know, the league table. So I definitely think that it's yes, your certificate in the UK is great, but it doesn't mean that you get jobs straight away. I mean, there's still people that we graduate together that are still working in in their chosen field.
Don't get me wrong. What I'm trying to say is, like, okay, back in Lagos, the moment you finish your first degree, the next in line is you getting a job.
But I feel like,
listen to me, the next in line is you getting a job. You know, the perception, like, oh yes, immediately you finish uni, you're gonna get a job. So that was the zeal I was carrying all over from Lagos, thinking, yeah, I have my university degree, my certificate, and coming here, I don't need to, I just use my. Here is a different story.
But do you think that, even because I think even in Nigeria, it's not the way you're saying it now, it's not like once you're done with school you get a job instantly.
It's not like instantly. I'm just saying, right, me coming from a place whereby they know my school, then going to a different place whereby they don't know my school.
But then that's got nothing to do with anything, because one thing I realized, okay, for example, me and my sister, right? My sister came I think a couple of months after I did, right? So I must have been here in September. My sister came in January, and obviously when I came in September, I was right in for the school term to start, so I went to school straight away. However, I did something called BTEC, which is sort of similar to GCSEs, because at the school I went, and because I had no knowledge, that's why information is king. It's very important. Yeah. You need to be very informed, because I thought that because I didn't necessarily do my GCSE here, that they recommended I did this BTEC course, which is equivalent to GCSEs, and also I do my maths and English, and then I can then apply for A-level the next year.
Okay.
When my sister came, she went to another college, and she actually went straight with a Nigerian certification straight to A-levels. Do you get what I mean? So it's important to have the right information. If you don't have the right information, then you make wrong decisions. Just because you had your certification doesn't mean that you're not going to get a job in your chosen field. I.e., there are a lot of people that I know that have gotten jobs with their normal Nigerian certificate. It's just having the right people around you, because I really think that when you come here, it's having the right people with the right information, because a lot of the Nigerians always tell you the things that they do, and if you have people on the same level as you, or they don't know anything, they're not even doing anything bad, they just tell you what they know. It's like, okay, go get this cleaning job, okay, go do this care job, okay, go do this, because they're telling you from their knowledge, because they know no different than what they've seen around them, and it's because it's what somebody else has told them before when they arrived as well. So that kind of information kind of travels like that. So that's why that's another thing. It's not that you can't. It might be difficult, I do think so, but it is not that you can't, because then,
and your working experience too.
let me tell you one thing, right? All the time I was looking for a job and I went to interview, no one ever asked me what I got in my uni.
Really?
No one ever asked me what I got in my uni. No one actually ever asked me to present my certificate.
Yeah, I think I was
nobody.
I remember back then in Lagos, right?
Because they look at your CV.
My first CV, you're gonna write your grade on it, like BSc 2.1.
Your certification and all that. Yeah, because the CV it's totally different from the one back home.
Yeah, the CV back home is like your birth certificate.
Like, I know mine had almost like, once you get the CV, you know everything about my life, like, my date of birth, how I started my primary school, first school living here, even like you just. It's just like a summary of your life.
Yeah,
it's
really like, I remember when I started work, I saw someone's CV, then I was like, oh, wow. Like, I think I was getting emails from people sending in their CV, then I was like, what's this? I'm not even seeing the basic information, so I'm supposed to see that. Is this what a normal CV looks like? Like, it was really different.
Yeah, most employer here, they are just after your experience, the places you've worked, the company you work with.
I think they're just about how well you know the job, and I think they don't want to waste too much time training people. Also, it makes life easier for them getting people that are more experienced in the field.
But
we're talking about the flashy lifestyles of the diasporans, what they portray to people back home. The Gucci, the ride, you see them posting with big rides, see them wearing flashy clothes, and you don't know how they got about the clothes and all.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there's some things they call credit card. Like, there's a lot of people that obviously use their credit card to buy all these expensive things, and it's not necessarily their money, because at the end of the day, credit is credit. If you use a credit card, you've got to pay the credit card back, right? Most people that buy their car, they buy their car on some sort of lease or finance or whatever. So if somebody has an Audi or whatever car, basically, it's not like they've just bought that car brand new, or they've gone to the shop and put 30 grand to buy that car. No, because it's all on some sort of finance where they pay over a period of time, or whether it's on one of those contract hire where they have it for 2-3 years. But then it's quite different, and people don't understand that people in Nigeria are actually living a lot better lifestyle, because they can buy everything cash down.
It's just lies, all fake. Like credit card, everything is based on credit card, even down to flight tickets. I think people buy their flight tickets on credit card. Back home,
Yeah, but they come back, and then the other thing that people don't understand is that when they're going on, people save a lot, they keep saving, and then they get those money and they spend it in a huge chunk, and obviously when they come back, they're back easy. Some people will come back and they're broke as even right from Nigeria, they're already borrowing money from Nigeria.
Is too poor.
They're already borrowing money from the Nigeria, or literally borrowing money from here.
They won't borrow money from people in
Nigeria. It's most likely people from here.
But they'll borrow money as well. Borrow you money, or you borrow money from your credit card, then you come and sort.
Even sometimes, they
don't even borrow money. That's another thing. We don't borrow each other money here. If you need help, you're still on your own. Nobody's ready to help you. Unlike in Nigeria, you still get some friendly people to help you out.
Yeah, you're right.
Sort out your mess.
Yeah, I think it really does depend on your group of friends as well, because if you have the right group of friends, trust me, you find people. But majority of that is very, really, really, really hard, because it's really, really, really hard.
Like you're just still on your own.
Yeah.
So, but I just feel like it's high time we start saying things as it really is. So you're not getting this whole idea that people here they're very okay, or I'm not saying everybody's.
It's not to say that everyone is bad. No. Yeah, true. There's a lot of people that are really doing well, and I do believe that a generation will be a lot better than the last generation, because first of all, there's a lot of information, like Yinka said. Second thing as well is the fact that people hopefully this generation are kind of showing the behind the scenes or whatever. We know that Instagram is something else.
We're very blunt. We say that. We don't have time. We don't have time.
Most of them, when they come here, they do security, cleaning, because the main job there, they were not given it, despite the fact that that's the reason why most of them, when they studied here, they moved back home.
You know what? To be honest, I don't know. I don't know that it's that. I just think that inferiority complex come into play with the law of the thing. Because I still think, I'm sorry, you can agree to disagree, because at the end of the day, I still feel like it's the thing where they almost, because yes, there was racism, don't get me wrong, there was absolute racism, but I think even when those things were passing a little bit, people, okay, why do you feel like somebody else in my dad's time was being a nurse or a doctor? Yeah, and you're and they're being professors in a university and stuff like that, and then there's still some other generation that came by and they went to go and do security. It's all about, because what you have to remember is it's all about the people that they were, the circle of people. When, as far from what my dad has always said, anyways, you know, when people were coming to, especially friends or people that he knows, or even people that he didn't even really know that from Nigeria, you know, I don't know how they used to know that somebody will say, when you're coming, could they saw the like you should come to this person's place and stay there, and that person will get you a job. Because back in the day, my dad used to say that they used to be able to get a job ready for you, but as soon as you got into the country, because it was a lot more easier. It was more easier to get a job, but I mean, those type of jobs, those type of security, carer, cleaner kind of job. It was very easy for them to secure those jobs before the person comes, because it's not, nobody wants to do those type of jobs. First of all, second thing is, well, it doesn't require that much of a qualification, so people probably are not informed properly.
But I think over time, it's just meant to be just like a temporary job, but over the time people just get relaxed in it, and you're not just bothered about trying something new. Or
I think it's true, definitely. People get relaxed as well, because they're like, okay,
they weren't that ambitious.
They weren't that, I don't think, because once they have enough to live by and to send a little bit,
they just think that at least it's better than what they get back home, and they're able to give the necessary people back home money, so they just get comfortable there.
I think it's comfortability.
It has to do with the circle of people you move around with, the kinds of people around. It also influences your life though.
I do. Definitely. There are loads and loads of examples, really. There are loads of people that you meet around that you just see, and you're just like, okay, what the hell? Even at my work, I told you, one of my first professional jobs, for example, I remember my manager used to say, you know what, because we used to have this thing we call PMP, which is performance review, something. Yeah. So with that, there was this guy that has been working for the company for almost 30 years, and he was comfortable. Every time, my manager says, every time he went in for his performance review, he knew what the conversation was going to be like. It was going to be like how he's going to improve on his current role, and that's it. He was never talking about what his next step moving forward, because he was comfortable, he was happy. And yes, he's not even Nigerian, so he's a white person anyways. He's not even like the black or whatever, because it really comes down to the person, individual. Because there are people that are comfortable being in the same place for the next 30-40 years. They're fine. So long as their pension is sorted, everything is sorted, they're good. They want to stay there. And there are people that
what I'm going to say to end today's is coming here, I'm really, really grateful, because it's a very big opportunity for me. Now I know what I want, and moving to this country, wow, I wouldn't say it's more of a challenging, but it's more of kind of like more interesting in some parts, and
that's it.
Okay.
Do you have any
I mean, for me, I do feel like, same thing with, like Tunde said, I do feel like there's a lot of, it opens your eyes to a lot of things. It makes you think differently, especially when you see people around you. So long as you're opening your eyes to experience London for yourself, rather than being all cluttered up with the same sort of people, at least you have to have a diverse people to give you the right information and show you the right things and where to go, and
don't just be stuck. Just round it up, yeah. That my advice to people back home that are planning on coming here. I just want you to do your research well, so you're not surprised coming here. So get the right information.